and welcome once again into Iceworks Arena in Aston, Pennsylvania. Semi-final matchup here between the number 3 Towson Tigers facing the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, who are the number 2 seed. My name is Michael Zahn. Joined alongside me is my partner, Aaron Sherman. And how excited are you now for semi-final action of the ECHA playoffs, Aaron?
Well, yesterday the quarters were great. We saw some good action between Temple and Towson, and there was an even better game on the other rink with Villanova and Drexel. And I'm very excited to watch this continue to go. And we've got 2 good teams here, and it's going to be a good game.
Already 2 games have been played, and there's been 1 upset, and it was on the opposite rink. We weren't able to call that game as it was going on simultaneously with the Temple and Towson game. How do you think that plays a role? Do you think that enables other teams? For example, now Towson can look at this game and say, hey, if Villanova can beat Drexel, then why can't we beat Lehigh, considering we're the 3 seed, and then the opposition is the 2 seed?
Well, in any kind of single elimination tournament, you just got to get into the tournament, and you just got to win. Anybody can beat anybody on any day. As long as you show up, you play the game you're supposed to play, you outwork the other team, and score more goals, and you're going to win the game. It doesn't matter if you had a bad season or one day. You've got one day to be here and come out and win.
And during that one game that Temple played against Towson, they certainly didn't show up, but credit to Towson, they did show up. They were able to win that game 4-1 yesterday. Not a lot of shots on from Temple. What did you see from this Towson Tigers team?
Good defensively, very good defensively. They made it very difficult for Temple to get any pucks to the net. They were blocking shots, and it also helps that they have a very big goaltender, as the backstop of the team, who is also an ECHA All-Star this year. So he's good. He's had 14 wins. So I saw a lot of good defense, and they converted on special teams, which is how they win, and which is my key to every game almost.
Now today we're going to be playing at Rink 2 once again at Iceworks Arena, which is an Olympic-sized rink. How do you think that plays a role in how a team plays the game? Because Lehigh doesn't normally play here. Towson played yesterday on this Olympic rink. Do you think that gives them an edge, or do you think the fact that they played yesterday hurts them because they might be a little more tired?
Yes and no to a lot of those things. The bigger size rink obviously plays a factor, and Towson's used to it now. They played one day here, but they did play yesterday, so they're not as well rested. They're not as well rested as the Lehigh team is. But it's tough. It's tough to say whether who's going to come out and if it makes a difference. But the bigger rink definitely will play a factor in the speed of the game. We saw it yesterday. It's more slowed down, and there's a lot more room out there for players to find empty space to create plays. It's not as much about the open ice hitting and things like that.
And slowly before these 2 teams come out, right now it's the Lehigh team taking the ice first. They are a very good team on the season, 14-11-1. They've earned themselves a first-round bye. They even have 2 ECHA All-Stars. One is a first-team All-Star, another is a second-team All-Star, and that's the majority of their offense, as their top player being Christopher Ramondelli. He's number 16, and number 8, Kevin McGee, is a second-team All-Star. What do you expect to see from the 2 of them today?
Well, as you can see from those point totals, that's the offense for this team. 83 points is an absolutely incredible number to put up during the course of a season, and even 72 is nothing to laugh at. That's a lot of points. In fact, the Towson team's leading scorer only had
it was Matt Stella with 32 points.
So you can see how good those guys are, and we'll flash the Towson All-Stars here.
And Jeremy Snyder definitely deserved that second-team All-Star. I think what I saw from him yesterday, you saw Patrick Hanrahan for Temple was a first-team All-Star, but Jeremy Snyder, a good puck-moving defenseman, and you will see a lot of number 10 today for Towson. He was just out there a ton in big-time situations, whether it was the power play, whether it was the penalty kill, whether it was 5-on-5. He was out there, made a lot of smart reads. He was a very smart hockey player, and once again, I think Tyler Stewartson proved why he is a second-team All-Star. He's a big-time goaltender, and it was very hard for Temple to generate a lot of shots on net.
Absolutely. We'll come in here for the starting lineups.
Between the Towson University Tigers and the Lehigh University Mountain Hawks. Before we introduce the starting lineups, the ECHA would like to take this opportunity to recognize the 2015-2016 All-Stars. For Lehigh, first-team forward Chris Ramondelli. Also from Lehigh, second-team forward Kevin McGee. lastly, from Lehigh, ECHA Coach of the Year, Tom Lasing.
And that's another thing that you have to keep in mind. We mentioned the All-Star players, but Coach of the Year went to Tom Lasig of Lehigh, so that's another top player, or at least a coach, I should say, for Lehigh, and a reason why they are such a good team is because they have a top-notch coach.
Now for the starting lineups. For the visiting Towson Tigers, at left defense, number 2, Nick Bickerstaff. At right defense, number 10, Jeremy Snyder. At left wing, number 16, Ryan Buccigrosi. At center, number 25, Matt McGuire. At right wing, number 15, Matt Stella. And goalie, number 32, Tyler Stewartson. Now the starting lineups for Lehigh Mountain Hawks. At left defense, number 23, Joe Belcastro. At right defense, number 5, Andrew Clayton. At left wing, number 16, Chris Ramondelli. At center, number 8, Kevin McGee. At right wing, number 7, Henry Brooks. And at goalie, number 33, Andrew Carlin. The Mountain Hawks are coached by Mr. Tom Lacey. Please stand and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem.
Now we are just moments away from puck drop here at Iceworks Arena in Aston, Pennsylvania. We appreciate you tuning in today. Before we get into the game, we want to talk about the starting goalies for both teams. So for Towson, in net is Tyler Stewartson. And Aaron, we saw him yesterday. Any couple words you want to give the followers about what you think of Tyler Stewartson's game?
Yeah, he's a big boy. He takes up a lot of room in the net. And, he makes it very difficult. He had a good save percentage, only averaged 3 goals a game, which is pretty good in a league like this. So look for him to be the backstop tonight and keep his team in the game.
And then on the opposite end, just getting a last-second refresher from the bench will be the netminder, Andrew Carlin, who didn't start the majority of the games, but he just is the best statistically, as you can see by the numbers. Statistically, their best goalie, and as we mentioned in our first game that we called, we typically call Temple ice hockey games, so we are familiar with the ECHA, and even Temple rotates a lot of different goalies, so you might see Andrew Carlin be that better backstopper, as you mentioned, but officially puck has been dropped here in semifinal action. It's Lehigh versus Towson. As Lehigh tries to get the first early shot on, it hits the outside of the cage just 12 seconds into the contest. But now coming the opposite way is Matt Stella for Towson, who's picking up the puck. It's Powell with the shot on. That's Taylor Powell. Stella curling back, brings it back to the point. Now it's at the top of the circle. A much more fast-moving pace game than Towson had played yesterday. A high-rising shot hits a defender out in front. As Towson pouncing on top of the puck. McGuire looking out to Stella. Stella staying with it. Looking back to McGuire. It comes back out into the high slot. Now to the point to Bickerstaff. Bickerstaff gets the shot off. Blocker save there by Carlin. Staying with it, Estella shoots it right into the breadbasket. They poke away at it. It's still loose, and they whistle it dead.
It's a quick whistle there. Towson, excuse me, is not going to be happy about that. But the referee made a mistake, and I'm sure he'll want to have that one back.
And just a nice start, just 57 seconds in. Lehigh takes the early first shot, and then it's been all Towson.
Towson's the lower seed. They know they've got to come out and play strong, so.
And now here come the Mountain Hawks trying to press the issue. As it's now, once again, Taylor Powell gaining neutral ice. Lehigh really struggling in neutral ice, and you saw how the Owls couldn't get out of their end just yesterday, and so far the same from the Mountain Hawks, who are trying to stay with it. Hems back in their own end. Finally, they get possession of it. It was Goldstein turning it over in neutral ice. Picked up here by Gallagher, who gives on over to Darby. Darby's able to gain the line. He dips the shoulder, gets a backhand shot off. Carlin makes the save, and he had 4 teammates surrounding him, but wants to play conservatively and still covers up. 18-12 remaining in the first period.
This is their first game, you know. Towson was out here yesterday. They know what to expect from these teams. Lehigh, you know, they don't want to make a mistake, so they're going to play a little conservative to start.
Face-off win here in the defensive zone by the Mountain Hawks, who just decide to throw it all the way down for icing. I think that was supposed to be a design play off the face-off, and instead no one came crashing toward Towson's end, so goes the length of the ice for icing, and we'll do it all over again back in Lehigh's end. Towson wins the draw. They have the puck at the right face-off dot as they try and diagram a play. Orchestrating the offense right now are the Tigers. As the puck is brought back to the far board side, doing a good job there is Potter, who was originally number 11 this season, lost his jersey, so now he's number 4. Interesting tidbit about Potter.
How do you lose your jersey?
Not really sure, but they replaced it with number 4, so that's the number he'll be donning for the remainder of the season. As there was an errant stick just thrown out there, that was by DeGizio. Spin cycled back into Lehigh's end as they are donning that home white as they've earned that 2 seed facing a number 3 seed. McGuire tosses it out in front, looking for Stella. These two are lethal. Stella continues to poke away at it, and it's finally covered up by Carlin. 17:06 remaining in the first period.
So far, Towson's very dominant in the offensive zone. They're working the puck around very nicely and making it difficult for Lehigh to get out. And we saw that yesterday.
They just keep the pressure on. Not a lot of pretty goals scored yesterday of their 4, as Snyder gets a hard shot off. And he is a second-team ECHA All-Star, Jeremy Snyder, as that does hit the protective awning in Lehigh's end. It appears that it will stay in Lehigh's end as it was last touched by the Mountain Hawks. McGuire tries to tie up his man, and once again you're seeing some physical contact here as Kevin McGee took a big hit to make a play. Stella in the far corner, reversing it back around as Butchagrassi loses possession of that puck, so it's picked up here by Ramondelli. You'll be hearing a lot of him. Number 16 brings it back to McGee. Those are the top 2 stars.
He's not a very tall player.
Neither one of them are. 16:15 remaining. Turned over in the defensive zone. And then a hard shot on. Carlin able to hug that post makes the save. 16-10 remaining in the first.
Very lucky. It's a costly error. He can't make mistakes like that. Can't turn the puck over, especially with so much open ice in front of him right in the high slot.
And that was turned over to number 27, Dykstra, who's set to take the draw. He does win it. He had a goal yesterday against the Owls. He has the puck right now. Tosses it around looking for Darby. As it's now Gallagher exchanging some blows. Mountain Hawks come away with it. Backhand one into neutral ice. Bickerstaff picks up the puck. Tosses it towards the goal line where Carlin has to play with it. Darby picks that one off as he has it in the far corner. Absorbs the check, and then at the point can't be kept in by Gallagher. 15:37 remaining in the first period as Gallagher dances his way around two different Lehigh forwards who were trying to establish a forecheck. And another good play by Gallagher to just bat that one out of midair. Now Darby chasing after it. It's Warren with the puck. Gives back on over to his defensive partner. Here is Darby out in neutral ice. He's had a long shift, but he's going to stay with it. 15:10 remaining in the first frame. Tossed around to the near board side. Comes back out into neutral ice as Towson is trying to get their last second changes on. So far, a very fast start to this period. Both teams really wanted it, appears. Towson, the slightly more aggressive of the two, and once again, it's the Mountain Hawks icing the puck. 14:41 remaining in the first.
We're continuing to see it, an aggressive forecheck. You know, in this league, the players are not as highly skilled, and it's more of just like finding the right place, but if you can make it difficult for them to pass and make it difficult for them to get out of the zone, it just spells trouble, and Towson's taking advantage.
Suzuka wins the draw back, gives on over to Glitchy. Glitchy gets hemmed in, and the linesman on top of it says that that puck did come outside the blue painted area, so offside against the Towson Tigers. 14:33 remaining. Another face-off draw for Suzuka. This time he loses it as the Mountain Hawks are going to try and establish their first offense of the game. This is Powell. Powell's able to find his man, but a stride too fast into the zone, and then the puck caromed off and stayed behind him, so he had to touch up to make sure he didn't go offside. Snyder was able to glove that one down, and now here's Lehigh in the offensive zone for the second time today, 6 minutes into the contest. Until just very quickly, it's going to be once again the Tigers gaining the line, trying to get a quick shot off. That's Snyder, who's going to keep the puck deep, and then he goes back to his point area until he finally goes off for a line change now as he's being replaced. Puck comes back out into neutral ice, brought on over to the near board side, the right wing side. Centering attempt, Stella can't tee that one up. Took a little too much time to try and cock his stick back. As the puck is once again brought back out into neutral ice, where the Tigers pick it up.
Offsides again.
And once again, offside against the Tigers, but 6:38 into this contest, Tigers are dictating the play.
100%. They're firing on all cylinders right now. They're finding each other in open spaces, making nice passes, and they're even intercepting a lot, forcing a lot of turnovers.
And a lot has changed in this Tigers program over the last week. Heading into Tuesday, they were the number 4 seed. They had to beat Penn State Berks. They narrowly beat them 3-2, so then they get the number 3 seed. Then they beat Temple yesterday, and here they are in the semifinal game, giving number 2 Lehigh a run for their money for a spot to play in the championship game against the winner of Navy and Villanova. 13 minutes even remaining in this first period. McGuire with the puck with an impressive inside-outside move, then finally turns over the puck where it's picked up here by Brooks.
Nice pass.
Brooks outlet pass to Ramondelli. Ramondelli looking for his man out in front. Can't get the shot off. That was McGee. You'll be hearing a lot of 16 and 8 as we mentioned, and they almost hooked up there. Centering attempt, Brooks can't put that one home.
There's the first signs of life for this Lehigh team.
And that's that first line. Brooks, Ramondelli, and McGee. They almost hook up there. And here's McGee with the puck along the left wing side. Fakes a shot.
Gets leveled.
Gets leveled by Bickerstaff. who's a first-line defender, so you're going to see a lot of Bickerstaff and Snyder up against that top line of Lehigh because they are lethal.
Yeah, they're going to need to play real tight with them today.
And that icing was negated last second. So Ramondelli turns it over to Powell. Powell wants to get the shot off, hits a man out in front. Carlin tried to come out and play with it, was unable to. Puck comes back into Towson's end, 11:55 remaining. And this has been what a fun start for semifinal action. As kicking it forward now is Morgley, who's trying to stuff it in along the goal line. Can't get that shot off. Good stick in the lane by Lehigh. Once again, it's Darby, the right-handed forward, who's curling back, almost turns it over until Snyder picks it up. So Snyder with the puck right now in his own end. Darby trying to carry it off the boards. He's able to pass it to himself, and then he turns it over in neutral ice. Our stick went flying. And now it's Gallagher wiping his man out. That man was number 9, Evan Goldstein, and then a shot on, saved there by Carlin, and he's going to cover up. 11-12 remaining in the first period.
Well, much better from Lehigh in the last few minutes. You know, it's looking like they actually decided to show up today, and they want to play some hockey. But good aggressive forechecks on both sides.
Suzuka able to win that draw cleanly. Tries to give it back to Glitchy. It looked like it was deflected out in front. Doesn't get the shot on net, though. Puck kept in by Bickerstaff as he's able to keep it inside that blue paint, but that was momentary as it's now picked up by the Mountain Hawks. Shot on, blocker save there by the netminder for Towson, being number 32 in Tyler Stewartson. He didn't see a lot of shots yesterday. That's only the second or third shot he's seen in the first 10 minutes or so. Some contact felt here by Carlin. He takes a spill, no call.
I'm okay with that. Referee's giving him a little chat as he skates by.
And then that one once again goes offside. 10:30 remaining in the first period. And the physicality seems to be picking up. Took a little bit of time, but it seems to be coming.
Well, we saw the end of the Temple-Towson game last night get a little chippy. So I'm sure some of it's rolled over a little bit today.
As here's McGuire tossing it out in front to Stella. Stella opts to go back to the point, wants Snyder to take that shot. And it's gloved down by Carlin. He's been very alert. You have to give Carlin the benefit of the doubt. A lot of shots have come straight to him and not allowing a lot of rebounds. And that's something at this level where you see a lot of goalies can maybe make the initial save, but then their rebound control isn't as strong. As the puck came out into neutral ice, looks like it's going to be thrown all the way down. Last second ice, the linesman says no icing. As McGee and Ramondelli tried to start something for the Mountain Hawks. So coming back in their end are the Mountain Hawks, once again donning their home white jerseys with the black and yellow trim. Potter in his own end, gives back to Powell. Powell trying to go cross ice, he's able to, finds McGuire. McGuire chips it on forward. He's going to go off for a line change, being replaced here by Gallagher. Ramondelli along the left wing side, tosses it back out into neutral ice, where he finds Gallagher, who brings it back into Lehigh's end. Dykstra and Powell establishing a forecheck for Towson right now. 9:17 remaining in the first period. A first period that hasn't had a lot of stoppages. Shot on, saved there by Carlin. And I think the net might be off its moorings, or are they calling a hand pass? Can't tell which one. I think it might be a hand pass in the defensive end, as it doesn't appear that there would be any loss of manpower either. So
yeah,
9:08 remaining in the first period.
I think you're right about that one.
And with Towson being the guest team, they had to get their line change in a lot faster. They were able to change second yesterday. They have to change first. That's a known hockey rule. So that's what's taking an extra second for this puck to be dropped, as you only see 4 black sweaters in your screen. Now you're going to see a 5th one coming in. It's Suzuka, who's typically the centerman, so you're going to see him curl back into that face-off dot. So Suzuka loses the draw there. Hesitating to get the puck out were the Mountain Hawks, and that was Brooks, who's the third forward on that top line. Puck thrown into the protective awning. 8:54 remaining in the first period.
Now, as we've been watching, I've noticed the forecheck for Towson. They like to swing like 3 players to one side, force the puck to the other side, and then they'll have a defenseman pinch in and try to trap them and turn the puck over. And so far, it's worked out a few times for them today.
Still a scoreless first period, even though it has been dominated by the Tigers. As the puck rims around the boards, picked up here by the Mountain Hawks. Teeing up a shot, doesn't get on net, and that was Adam Goldstein.
I believe we got a pair of brothers on this Lehigh squad.
Adam and Evan Goldstein.
Yes.
Puck comes behind the cage, where Glitchy is. Glitchy on over to Bickerstaff along the right wing side. He's going to dump it down. Wholesale line change for the Towson Tigers. 8:08 remaining in the first period. As Lehigh's able to gain the offensive line. A quick little hook there, then it goes awry as it was not detected. Shot on save there by Carlin. A center ice shot, just trying to fool the goaltender, but Carlin comes up with it once again. The shot was on by Todd Klingerman. He had one of the 4 goals for Towson yesterday. It was the goal that put Towson up 4-1. It was an innocent shot. Scott Salomon wasn't able to save it. As Towson once again had the puck in the slot, Snyder picks it up, gets the shot off rebound. And what an effort here by the Towson Tigers.
Keeping the puck in at all costs. Gotta love that.
And that was a keep in by number 7, Heisler.
Another big hit.
And you're seeing the physicality pick up before your eyes here. As Lehigh just wants to gain the red line before they dumped it off, because they're going to change up all 5 men that were previously on the ice.
One thing I like from Tyler Stewartson, he plays the puck very nicely for a goalie. A lot of times in this new game, goalies don't often play the puck. Most coaches say, don't touch it, don't go near it.
And we might have a 2-on-1 break here as they turn it over in the neutral ice. Shot on, rebound out in front. They try and poke away at it. And Carlin comes up with it somehow, some way.
Nice play, better save. You see what he tried to do there? He shot down low, shoot at the pillows, create a rebound.
And he tried to go for the opposite pad, hoping that the crashing man was just going to be able to poke it home. Carlin was able to make the save. Not a big rebound, still a rebound. And Towson wasn't able to convert for the first goal. So 6:55 remaining in the first period. As turning on the Jets here is Ramondelli. Now it's McGee. Picked up now by McGuire of Towson. And that takes a weird hop off the boards. We've seen a lot of that, just the dimensions of this Olympic ice sheet.
And the old style glass, and the boards have probably been here a long time, so they're...
You can see a lot of divots.
Yeah, they're not as lively as they used to be.
As this puck hits off of Stella, and now he goes up for a line change as he was past that red line, so no icing infraction against Towson. 6:18 remaining in the scoreless first period. Darby picks up the puck, gets thrown quickly into the Lehigh bench. Now it's Ramondelli poking this one back to Bickerstaff, who picks it up, finds Snyder. Snyder tosses it around. Carlin has to come out of his crease, stops the puck. Brought to the near board side. Curling back is Lehigh. Once again, it's Gallagher picking up the puck now. Towson dominating in possession for sure, but haven't been able to generate a scoring opportunity yet. As they turn it over behind the net, and a spill out in front because there was nothing happening. That was Adam Goldstein, not to be confused with number 9, Evan Goldstein. They are a pair of brothers. Gaining the line is Darby, but just a stride too fast was number 27, Dykstra. 5:27 remaining in the first.
Almost a costly error by Stewartson in the back. Just as I was saying how nicely he plays the puck, he doesn't look where he was going, and he turned the puck over to the wrong person. Luckily, it did not cost him.
So the puck will be dropped in neutral ice. 5:27 remaining in the first frame. As once again, here's Suzuka. Suzuka's shot hits off a man out in front, and then caroms to the far board side. Suzuka has the puck, surveying his options. Cross ice wanted Snyder to put that one home. Now he's out of position, so turning on the Jets are the Mountain Hawks until he gets crushed into the boards, and that was Kyle Torrance, number 22. With the puck right now is number 17 for Towson, and it's Alex Lacaze. He's a transfer.
Nice stick move.
Snyder, that's why he's a second-team ECHA All-Star.
Very good hands.
As the Mountain Hawks bring it back out into neutral ice, picked off once again. And you just see this neutral zone trap that Towson brings on. It is very hard to beat them. As wrapping around the boards here is Butchagrossi, brings it back to the point. Shot from the left circle, Carlin makes the pad save. 4:18 remaining in this first frame. Bickerstaff goes all the way down to retrieve it, finds Butchagrossi. Butchagrossi along the right wing side, trying to look for McGuire. McGuire gets a piece of it. He's going to chase after it with Stella. Stella first one to meet up there, and McGuire lays out Butchagrossi. What a shot out in front. As Gallagher keeps it in the end. Glove save there. As even afterwards, Carlin flexed that glove hand once or twice just to make sure everything's okay because it fell out of his hand. Coming the other way is Ramondelli. He has over 80 points on the season. Can't get the shot off, met up by two men as they check him hard into the boards. Still a penalty-free period, 3:35 remaining in the first period. Here's Brooks. Brooks centering it out in front. Can't find anyone. Kept in. As once again they're going to try and wrap around. That's Brooks. Brooks looking for a man out in front. Good defensive presence here by the Tigers, who stay on top of it. And also number 14 is a Ramondelli, so that's two brothers, Joseph Ramondelli.
Nice cross-ice pass.
But then it gets picked off here by the Mountain Hawks. Shot on hits outside of the cage. 2:52 to go in the first frame. Covering up the puck is Stewartson, just to play conservatively as it pinballed out in front. 2:48 remaining in the first period.
A lot of good back and forth the last couple minutes. Lehigh finally finding their way into the Towson offensive zone. They haven't seen much of that this period.
Face-off will be deep in Towson's end, a rare defensive zone draw for Towson, but they're able to win it as the puck was meant to come on over to Powell, who chases in after it, still gets a piece of it. And then he's going to dump it all the way down, so Carlin has to come out of his crease, dumps it back for one of his teammates, who turns it right back over.
See, Towson again, always have three players swarming the puck.
And then the puck almost came toward us. Fortunately for our sake, it hit the rafters first and then didn't come near us, so it went to the stall next to us. I think everyone's okay. 2:22 remaining in the first period. Dykstra and Goldstein set to take the draw for their respective clubs. Dykstra's able to win it to Powell. Carlin covers that one up. 3 ticks come off the clock, and faceoff will be dropped once again. Puck will be dropped once again deep in the Lehigh end. And Lehigh once again wanted to get that top unit out there. McGuire couldn't come out there because Lehigh was already changing. When you're the away team, changes have to come in immediately.
That's right.
Dykstra wins the draw back. He wins it to Potter. Here's Snyder teeing up a shot, looking for a deflection, doesn't get it. So then it is steered clear of the net. 2:08 remaining as Darby reverses around, finds the man out in front. That's Dykstra. Wanted to go short side. I think even made some contact afterwards with Carlin.
It's a great pass. Just couldn't find the net.
Goldstein skating free. Now here's Brooks. Brooks can't control that one. Ramondelli picks it up, finds Brooks. Brooks with a very impressive move, then gets met up by 4 black sweaters as it's turned back over. Cross-ice speed here. Nice. Darby's going to be the first one to get it, so he negates the icing. Absorbs a big check here from Clayton. Ramondelli along the right wing side gets his pocket picked by McGuire. They can't get the shot off. They stay with it. Shot doesn't get through as it hits Goldstein out in front. Here's Brooks for Lehigh, finding Ramondelli out in neutral ice. Big hit. It's upended by McGuire, and there are two of the better players. Now McGuire afterwards takes care of Ramondelli, and he's going to go to the penalty box. An ill-advised penalty by McGuire.
Yeah, he put on a nice hit at first, and to say he finished the check is putting it nicely. He pretty much went after him. Well deserving of a 2-minute roughing, I'm sure.
And McGuire,
or interference, either way.
McGuire got the puck free. He got it away from Ramondelli, which is enough of a success.
Yeah, he won the puck.
And then afterwards felt it was necessary to take a cheap shot. So he's going to hope he sits for the duration of 2 minutes. There's 1:14 remaining in the period. If Lehigh can't score, there will be 46 seconds of carryover time.
If I'm not mistaken, they gave up one power play goal yesterday to Temple. It was the only goal.
Devin Thomas didn't score on the power play. They didn't give up a power play goal, Towson.
Oh, no, they did not. You're right. You're right.
So they still haven't given up a power play goal all weekend long as the puck does come back to the point. Picking his pocket is Darby. He almost had a shorthanded break as he falls on top of it and then tosses it out into neutral ice. 42 ticks remaining in the first frame. Goldstein finding Morgley. Morgley has Camelo draped all over him, finds his man back at the point. Good job of getting his body out in front of it. Stella, who's shaking his hand, I think his hand hit most of that puck, or the puck hit most of that hand, I should say. 21 seconds remaining, 1:07 remaining to the man advantage. Goldstein gets that puck free. Shot is shanked. And now here's Stella. He's a very dangerous player. Gets a shot off, blocker save there.
Great
he found
save.
a corner.
Great save. We had a good eyesight of that. We could see there was a hole there. Good reaction, blocker save.
And with 1 second remaining, that will do it for a very energetic first period, a scoreless first period between Towson and Lehigh. 46 seconds of power play time remains for Lehigh on the McGuire interference. But that will do it for our first period of play. And when we come back, Aaron and I will break down that period in the first intermission. and welcome back into our broadcast live from Iceworks Arena in Aston, Pennsylvania. At the end of one period, Lehigh 0 and Towson 0. What did you see in that first period, Aaron?
Well, we didn't see any goals, but we saw a very dominant period from Towson. We were talking about it a little bit in the break. They're using the trap very effectively, and they're very aggressive on their forecheck. They're making it difficult for Lehigh to get out. They're creating a lot of turnovers, which is leading to a lot of shots. Lehigh looked a little slow to start that period. There were spurts of, you could see that they're a good team and that they're here to play, but for the most part they played pretty lethargic, and we saw a good period though. I thought it was good action back and forth for a little bit, and Towson looked really good.
I think that what I saw in that period was a Towson team that understood what it takes to play on this ice. I think that still we saw a little bit of Lehigh just trying to understand the intricacies of this arena and just trying to understand exactly how the boards operate. Towson has that extra edge, and we mentioned that a little bit in the pregame. I didn't know if that would help or hurt them because maybe they'd be a little bit tired.
They don't look tired at all.
Yeah, keep in mind, Lehigh hasn't played in a whole week, and in that time already, it's been Towson who's played 2 games. They had to play their last game in conference on Tuesday, and they already played a playoff game yesterday. A close 4-1 game. It's not like they dominated that game on the score sheet. They're not an offensive powerhouse. They are very good defensively. They have an ECHA All-Star on the defense and an ECHA All-Star goaltender. On the other hand, it's Lehigh who has an opposite game plan. They're very offensive. They rely on that first line. They didn't get much from that first line, but what did you see from that top line of Lehigh?
There were spurts you could see, like I said. They were moving the puck around very nicely. They obviously have good chemistry to put up that many points. They've scored more than half the points for the team all year, so they looked good, but we're going to need to see more from them. More shots, obviously. Unofficially, I think we have, 2 or 3 for Lehigh, so not a great first period, but, I would expect them, a good team, to come out and, you talk to each other in the locker room, you're like, we just had a bad period, let's wake up. We're still in this game 0-0, nothing hurt them, so
if you're in the Lehigh locker room, that's what you would say to the team is saying, hey, maybe
wake
we were
up.
outplayed, but it's 0-0. We have a chance. They're still in the power play for 46 seconds. If you're in the Towson locker room, what's the message?
The Towson locker room, keep doing what you're doing. Eventually, you're going to find the back of the net. They've created good turnovers. Goaltending hasn't had to do much. Defense has been very, very good. So keep doing what you're doing, and eventually it should play out for you. But again, on the other side, you were saying a week off. You can tell the difference between the team that just played yesterday and the team that's slow getting to pucks. And so if you're Lehigh, you wake up. Towson, keep doing what you're doing.
So that'll do it for our first intermission. As the second period will start momentarily. Already I can see out of the corner of my eye the Towson players have come out of their locker room. So second period will start momentarily. Welcome back for our second period of play. Still 46 seconds of power play time remains for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. And we're going to take a quick look at what their power play has done on the season, almost capitalizing 1 in every 4 chances. That is a dominant power play. But on the opposite end, we know that Towson is a very good penalty killing team. We saw it already yesterday, and you can see the numbers there in front of you. Towson is good on the PK. It's 1 offensive team versus 1 defensive team. Second period is underway here at Iceworks as Towson is going to dump the puck down deep. They're able to do that without having an icing call against them, as they are still without Matthew McGuire for another 30 seconds. 19:42 remaining in the second period. Picking off this puck right now is number 16, being Ryan Butchagrossi.
And with a high-powered offense, this should be a place where Lehigh shines. We should see them be very aggressive here.
As Bickerstaff understands the situation, knows that the power play is coming to an end, just wanted to eat up more clock as he was kicking that puck up against the boards. 2 seconds remain to the man advantage. Back to even strength, shot on. Stewartson has to make the save. Comes out in front to Romandelli, shot on. They continue to bat away at it. Stewartson makes the save, now hugging the post. And they just can't beat Stewartson, the 22-year-old netminder from Massachusetts.
Good puck movement, but I thought maybe one extra pass too many. He had a good lane to shoot, and he decided to pass.
And here's once again Romandelli trying to hook up with McGee. Just a stride too fast is McGee. So it's the Tigers bringing it out into neutral ice. Dykstra chasing in after it. First one to touch up will be Warren until it goes on toward the netminder of Lehigh, and that obviously being Andrew Carlin. 18:38 remaining in the middle frame. Dykstra and Goldstein set to take the draw. It's Dykstra winning it back as it rims around to the left wing side. Touching up his Darby. He's along the goal line as he creeps in down closer. Passes it out in front. Here's Powell. Powell wanted to get the shot off, but last second it's Goldstein's stick in the lane and it deflects out of play. 18:25 remaining in the second period.
Nice strong stick there from Goldstein. You love to see that if you're a goalie.
Klingerman wanted to win that one back, was unable to, so it's Warren kicking it around to Goldstein. Goldstein gets it into neutral ice. Recoiling back in his own end is Klingerman. He was hemmed in for a half second, but now emerging with the puck are the Tigers. Can't get a shot on as it's Klingerman trying to work it back to the point to Gallagher. Gallagher can't keep that in as Goldstein is going to dump it down further for Camilla, the small defender for this Tigers team, the number 3 seed facing the number 2 seed of Lehigh. Klingerman dips the shoulder, comes back in his own end. It's Klingerman still with the puck, working back to Camella. Camella's shot doesn't get through as it hits a maze of players out in front. 17:35 remaining in the middle frame. As Snyder, rarely out of position, wasn't able to keep up with that puck, so now Lehigh's able to establish a forecheck, but that was short-lived as working it back in is Klingerman. What a move, tries to get a backhand off, hits the outside of the cage. 17:13 remaining in this second period.
Showed some nice moves there, almost danced around him.
As staying with the puck now are the Mountain Hawks, trying to orchestrate something in the offensive end. It was McGee trying to pass it out in front to Romanelli. Shot, Stewartson comes up with it. There was a rebound, but then he covers it up. 16:51 remaining in the middle frame. It's going to be McGee to take the draw. He's the top line forward for Lehigh. He's not able to beat McGuire, who's back out there since serving his penalty time. So both teams have their top lines out there. Shot hit the outside of the net and even hit a little bit of the post. Comes back to the point. Shot doesn't get through. So pouncing on top of it is the younger brother of Romanelli. He's the defenseman, not to be confused with number 16 for Lehigh, obviously being Christopher Romanelli, who's the top point getter in the ECHA. Brooks loses his stick as he felt it was slashed out of his hands. 16-15 remaining. McGuire gets the puck free, wanted to find Butchagrassi, who did find Stella, but then Stella couldn't control that one. So now Brooks goes cross ice, finds Romanelli.
Nice stick. Nice strong stick there.
And that's what they do in the neutral ice. Of the three zones, that's where Towson is the best. Shot on save there by Carlin.
Almost a big rebound.
And keeping it in is Powell now, as Powell dances around Brooks. Now trying to dance around Romanelli, gets the puck deep. It's along the goal line. Here's Powell curling back. Now has a backhand try toward Darby. Darby meets up with Powell, comes back to the point where Darby is. Darby to Potter. Potter's shot does get through. They try and jam away at it, and now the physicality is going to be picked up. Only a little bit of pushing and shoving, as Carlin was able to cover that one up. 15:23 remaining in the second period. Still a scoreless contest, as Carlin is having a couple extra words with the referee right now. Didn't know why that play wasn't whistled dead a little bit sooner. Some slashing amongst players before the puck is even dropped. So Dykstra has to leave the faceoff dot. He gets tripped up, no call. It rims around out of the boards. And just beating him there by a stride is Gallagher. Chasing it after it was also Morgley. So Morgley thought he was going to negate the icing. 15:15 remaining in the second period. Taking the draw for their respective clubs is Goldstein and Suzuka. Suzuka wins it cleanly as it comes back to Towson. That's Gallagher near center ice. Reversing it back in their own end. Now it's Goldstein with the puck. A no-look pass. It comes back out into neutral ice. And then his brother, the other Goldstein, finds Morgley. Morgley tees up a shot. Save there. And Stewartson's able to cover it up. There was a rebound. Physicality certainly picking up as Gallagher and Goldstein exchange a couple shoves. 14:52 remaining in the second period. So Stewartson is now being tested deep in Towson's end. 14:50 is what remains in the second period. Still a scoreless contest, but a one-on-one break here as Klingerman gets a shot off. Rebound out in front. They try and poke away at it some more, but a good defensive stand by the Mountain Hawks, who try and sky it out, and it goes into the ceiling. 14:33 remaining in the second period. So face-off deep in Lehigh's end. As now it's Lehigh coming away with the puck. They're going to dump it down deep after they got past that red center ice line. As the Tigers continue to stay with it. Camilla, outlet pass here to McGuire. McGuire shoots, he scores! What a goal as Camilla meets up with McGuire. And that's the first tally of the game. McGuire, the lethal weapon, picked up the penalty earlier in the first period. Now he gets Towson on the board.
Costly turnover there for him. And they end up giving up a little breakaway, and that was all he wrote.
And he is the top snipe. He is the top offensive threat for Towson. So he gets Towson on the board. We saw him score the early first goal of the entire weekend as he put Towson up 1-0 against Temple. Now he puts Towson up 1-0 against Lehigh, and we'll see how Lehigh responds. 13:55 remaining in the second period.
Now this is where you rely on your star players, as there's going to be a penalty in the back.
So it's going to be a penalty against Towson once again. 13:41 remaining.
Probably going to get a boarding. Yep.
And it looks like it's going to be Taylor Powell. No, he's just skating on over to the bench. It's going to be Bickerstaff to sit. So I knew I caught a number 2. It's not 20, it's number 2, Bickerstaff, who will be sitting in the box for 2. Second power play of the game for Lehigh. And this might be exactly what the doctor ordered because they just allowed a goal. Now they have a chance to come right back. So no surprise to see the top unit out there for Lehigh. As it's McGee hitting that puck, keeping it in. The puck does come out quickly of the blue paint, then thrown back in. So 1:48 remaining to the man advantage, and the puck is going to be dropped in neutral ice. 13:29 to go in the second period.
As a coach, you hate this, though. You just scored a goal. You're doing everything right. And you go ahead and give up a penalty. You know, it's the little things that win these games, and you know that's one of those little things that drives you nuts.
As Towson is just showing why they're one of the better PK teams in the league as they toss it on towards Carlin, who's going to control it, gives on over to Goldstein, and then Romanelli gets his pocket kicked ultimately. As curling back there was number 14, Suzuka, Chris Suzuka. So McGee finding Romanelli as they're able to gain the line. McGee on the left wing side drops it back as it's Clayton manning the point. Clayton trying to find a lane, gets a shot off and he scores! Oh my goodness, Clayton's able to score, and now once again Towson back to the penalty kill as after the goal, number 12 Klingerman hits the celebrating team, and what a change of events.
Yeah, wow. Looked like a shot from the point. Goalie couldn't probably see it, and it looked like it was deflected over the shoulder. So a nice offensive play from the power play of Lehigh, and another costly mistake by taking a penalty at the end of that.
So that's now 3 minor penalties against Towson, not even halfway through regulation. And they had all momentum. That outlet pass from Camilla to McGuire put Towson up 1-0. We're going to wait an extra second because the goal hasn't been put up on the scoreboard, so they dropped the puck a little early. Now we're knotted up at 1, and they're waiting also for the penalty to be put up. So Klingerman in the box for 2 minutes. Another power play already. Lehigh 1 for 2 tonight.
It's a big moment here for Lehigh. You got to attack. You got to take advantage right now.
But on the other end, here's a short-handed 2-on-1 break. But instead, Towson is just going to try and eat up more clock rather than having an odd man break the other way if they couldn't convert.
Very smart play.
So 1:35 remaining to the man advantage as Lehigh is still in their own end. As Galici was trying to chase in after that, he's unable to. So gaining the line cleanly, Goldstein gets the shot off, not on net. McGuire playing important penalty-killing minutes. Tosses this one back into Lehigh's end, looking for another stretch pass here. They're able to convert it. That's a beautiful pass retrieved by Friedman. As McGee of Lehigh chasing after it. They're able to keep the point, but another good Towson clear eats up more clock. A minute remaining to the third power play for the Mountain Hawks. 11:30 remaining in the second period. As now it appears Lehigh's doing a lot better in neutral ice, but that puck just deflects back into the neutral zone after the Mountain Hawks were able to gain the offensive blue line. So it's Clayton gaining the line very cleanly. He's at that left dot, brings it back to the point. Here's Clayton still at that left faceoff dot who retrieved the pass, trying to stuff it in, and that's why McGee is a top scoring threat. He beats a sprawled out netminder and 2 power play goals for Lehigh, and just like that, they're up 2-1.
Well, special teams will kill you. There you go. McGee received a really nice pass from the lower boards and made a nifty little move, and I believe went backhand upstairs.
I think in tight he made one quick move to draw the netminder down. He was able to, and just that one little move was able to get.
That's why Lehigh's a good team, though. You know, Towson makes 2 mistakes, and Lehigh makes them pay. Good teams will always make teams that make mistakes pay.
And now it's Lehigh trying to just continue to pounce on this lead after Towson really dominated the first 25, even 26 minutes. It has been just Lehigh the last 5, and we have a score of 2-1. All 3 goals have been scored in this second period with 10:20 to go in the second period. Curling back in his own end is Gallagher as the puck comes out into neutral ice. Lehigh retrieves the puck as the Mountain Hawks are just content dumping it down deep and getting a line change here. So Towson picks up the puck. They have a stretch pass of their own as Darby picks up that puck. Darby looking for a centering feed, isn't able to get it. But Towson still has it as they have the puck along the far corner. Then they wrap it around to the near board side. Dykstra to Darby. Back to Dykstra. Dykstra gets a backhand shot on. Save there by Carlin.
Beautiful little give and go in the corner.
It's Lehigh picking up the puck now. Romanelli is able to gain that blue paint clearly. And now it's the other Romanelli trying to toss it out in front to McGee, who already has a power play goal today. Shot, save there by Stewartson, who had just allowed 2 power play goals, but is able to swallow that one up. 9:13 remaining in the middle frame. Puck will be dropped in Towson's end. And look at this speed here from Towson as they come barreling toward Carlin. It might even be a penalty shot, but they're going to call a trip. That fast skater, I couldn't even catch up to him. Ryan Butchagrassi, number 16.
Turned the wheels on there.
Whatever expression you want to use, I'll say he turned on the afterburners. I think there was some jet fuel in those skate blades. So now it's Towson to the man advantage, and they have a chance to tie this one up.
So we take a quick peek at the power play for Towson.
As you can see, they as well have a pretty good power play. They convert almost 1 in every 5 times as they're able to win the draw. It's Galici in the corner. He takes a couple stick checks, still stays with it. It's Galici at the top of that left circle, tosses it down low. Butchagrassi recoils with that puck along the far board side, comes back to the point, now to the left wing side. Manning that point is Bickerstaff. Bickerstaff waiting for a seam to open up, just tees up a rocket, and Carlin's able to save it. Towson stays with the puck, comes back to that point where Bickerstaff is manning it. Down low to Butchagrassi, and now even down deeper along that goal line to Darby. Comes back to the point. Now at the left face-off circle, Darby had a lane, was able to shoot it. Carlin makes the save. But Towson keeping on this onslaught. Still 1:08 remaining to the man advantage. Shot doesn't get through. They stay with it. Butchagrassi to that point. Now the left face-off dot where it's Darby. Reverse it around Dykstra. Dykstra's shot doesn't get through. He pokes at it. Dykstra stays with it. He reverses with Bickerstaff, so they're manning different points now. And Butchagrassi reverses for Darby. Towson was able to make a few changes, so a little bit of a different unit out there. Dykstra still to Butchagrassi. Back to Dykstra. Comes back to Snyder. Snyder couldn't get all of that one. Now it's Dykstra. Hits Goldstein's shot. Carlin makes the save. 25 seconds remaining to the man advantage. McGuire to Dykstra. Dykstra's shot was deflected by McGuire. Darby wanted to poke that one home. Was unable to. Snyder. Back to Darby. And this has been almost an entire power play in the offensive end. Wow. But the last 10 seconds, Lehigh's able to clear, and rightfully so. An applause from the crowd because that was quite a defensive stand.
Yeah, excellent penalty kill. They stuck with it. They stayed tight. and couldn't allow Towson to get anything to go.
So we are back to even strength here. So with that being said, icing against Lehigh. It will come all the way into Lehigh's end. But fortunately for Lehigh, it's not a tired unit out there, as they were able to make that line change about 15 seconds ago.
Good penalty, or good power play from Towson, though. They worked the puck around very nicely. They tried to create something. They just couldn't get the puck to the net.
As now Lehigh has it in their own end. It's Brooks who gets it back out into neutral ice. Chasing it after this is Romandelli. He's going to be the first one to touch up. Romandelli tries to sneak it in, and instead it hits the outside of the net. You almost saw, maybe in your screen, McGee, I think, jumped up for a second, thought that his team had scored, as it's Brooks trying to get a shot off. They poke away at it some more, and net comes off its moorings, and it's going to come all the way into Lehigh's end, I believe.
Lehigh frustrated with that, especially when they were just starting to work the puck around and create chances there.
It's going to stay in Towson's end, so that's my bad. But I had thought that I saw the referee point all the way down. I thought maybe they knocked the net off the moorings. Instead, they say Towson knocks it off their own moorings. 6:24 remaining in the second period, as Darby uses the boards, doesn't go down for icing. So Romandelli back in his own end. Outlet pass finds Brooks. Brooks at center ice. Finds the other Romandelli, number 16. So wholesale line change for both teams. As Towson has the puck at center ice, they try and gain the offensive line. Throw a shot toward Carlin. He covers it up, opts to freeze the puck. 5:53 remaining in the second period, with Lehigh on top 2-1 thanks to 2 power play goals.
Special teams will kill you in this league. We've seen it today.
McGuire, the lone goal scorer for Towson, was set to take the draw. He loses it, as Butcher-Grossi forces a turnover. Stella and McGuire pass, and McGuire tries to find Stella. Stella couldn't get the shot off. Now Bickerstaff hops into the play. McGuire looking back to the left point. Bickerstaff has to get there in a hurry. He's able to.
Nobody looked like they wanted to go for the puck on Lehigh there.
As Lehigh has it along their left wing side. Butcher-Grossi keeps it in, throws it toward Carlin. Carlin gets a piece of it, doesn't get enough of it, so it stays in play. And now it's Towson with the puck. McGuire makes a couple moves. Calling for it is Stella, and I think going back to the man advantage. Right now I see a Lehigh player down. I think they were the ones who touched the puck. So I do think Towson will go on the penalty kill now. I can hear a couple Towson fans yelling at the referees right now, as we can see an injured player. He was grabbing at his neck, and if there's one single spot on someone's body you would prefer them not to hold, it would be their neck, because that is a dangerous area that you never want anyone hurt in that position. You never want anyone hurt anywhere.
No, of course not.
But typically an abdominal area injury is a lot more understanding than a neck injury. For a second I got worried. We can see a little bit more clearly. It's likely a little hard to see on your screens. A red mouth guard has fallen out of a player. I thought for a quick second that might be blood, as I saw him grabbing at his neck, and I was very worried.
Luckily it was not that.
So it will be number 4, Adam Goldstein, who comes up on his own. Still a couple fans not pleased. But it does appear I was right with my original assessment that even though it was Goldstein who was hurt, I don't see any players in the penalty box for Towson. So it's going to be a power play for the Towson Tigers. I don't see anyone in the box right now. They're going to throw Adam Goldstein. So even though he was the one who was hurt, he was the one who was called for the trip. So we've got that all sorted out. Back to the man advantage are the Tigers. You know what they did last time. They almost dominated the entire 2 minutes. Already this one an early clear out of the zone for Lehigh, as the Tigers have it in neutral ice.
So we'll flash the PK stats for Lehigh. 76% on the season, not too bad.
Especially at this league, that's not so bad. But having a chance to pounce Estella. Estella gets a shot off, hits a piece of the post. So now it's Stella at the top of the left circle. Goes cross ice, finds Snyder. They try and get a shot off from the point, not able to. Suzuka fakes a shot, wanted to open up a seam. And now it could be a 2-on-1 short-handed break the other way as Lehigh finding McGee just a stride too slow. There was McGee, then he gets upended by McGuire. So still a minute 4 remaining to the man advantage for the Tigers. A little over 4 minutes remaining in the period. As Suzuka was able to keep the line, but that was momentary as a big clear here by McGee is able to change up the penalty killing unit for the Mountain Hawks. 3:53 remaining in the second period. We appreciate you tuning into this ECHA semifinal matchup between the number 3 seeded Towson Tigers and the number 2 seeded Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Gaining the line or the Tigers. Here's Snyder. He's at that right circle. Now he's at the right point as he decides to drop back. Carlin jumps toward the puck, and he's able to gobble that one up and save it. 21 seconds still remaining to the man advantage, and Carlin has been hot today.
Yeah, Carlin being extra aggressive there, making sure there was no possible way that anybody could tip it out in front. He attacked the puck and made the save.
Dykstra wanted to win that puck, was unable to, but they still work it back to the point, so Towson has possession of this puck. 14 seconds to the man advantage. Dykstra manning the point. He has it back as they play a little bit of hot potato, do the Tigers. Dykstra can't get his shot through. Butcher Grossi works it down low. 2 seconds remain to the man advantage. We're back to even strength as Dykstra finds Bickerstaff. Bickerstaff's shot doesn't get through. Comes back to the point. Here's Bickerstaff again. We're skating 5-on-5. They work it to the left wing side. There's Butcher Grossi. They work it now along the goal line. Some impressive passing here by the Tigers. They work it out in front. Glitchy can't put that one home. Butcher Grossi finds his man at the point. That's Gallagher. Gallagher tees up a rocket, hits some bodies out in front, and then deflects out of play. 2:47 remaining in the second period.
Another good penalty kill from Lehigh.
As right now the referees are having a conversation. I think they just want to know where to drop this puck. Don't think it'll result in any loss of manpower.
No.
So all 4 referees combined, 2 referees and 2 linesmen, say that the puck will stay deep in Lehigh's end. Not a happy Lehigh bench right now as they felt it was shot out of play by Towson, but the referees are letting the coaching staff of Lehigh know that it last deflected out of play off of the Mountain Hawks, so it stays in Lehigh's end as they are able to win the draw. Brooks with the puck. Headmans a pass to McGee. He right now has the go-ahead goal. The right-handed shot of McGee doesn't get through. He wanted a quick wrist shot on net. Brooks muscles his way through the zone. He's now behind the cage, circles it out in front, and finally covering up the puck is Stewartson. 2:24 remaining in this second period. It's been a fun one.
Yeah, it's been a very exciting game. Nice, close, good, exciting playoff hockey game.
As Goldstein's able to win the draw, now it's poked away from him. A 2-on-2 break is canceled out as Goldstein's able to get there. Good to see him be okay. They try and center it out to McGuire, but he can't put that one home. Now Potter to Stella. Stella using his body to stay with the puck. Now comes out to that point where Potter is. Potter makes a move, has a lane. Carlin makes the save. There was a rebound under 2 minutes remaining. And here's a 2-on break the other way as Lehigh has it. It's Morgley with the puck, wants to center it. And look at Potter with the defensive play. They still center it as Goldstein wanted to poke that one home. 100 seconds remain in the second period. Morgley stays on his men, so is Goldstein.
Potter played that 2-on-1 perfectly. Even saw him look back to check where the other man was, and You know, as a goalie, you'd rather have your man take away the pass so you can focus on the shot. And the way he came in and angled, he took away the pass and was even able to take away the shot.
A turnover in the defensive zone against the top unit, but then the Tigers come away with it. Look at that feed in neutral ice as Powell takes a shot, forgets the puck with him, so doesn't get the shot off.
Swing and a miss.
Romandelli, a high-rising shot and a catch. Talking about swing and a miss.
Yeah, it just robbed the home run there.
As swinging for the fences there was Romandelli, but gloving that one out of midair is Stewartson. 64 seconds remain in the second period. As the Tigers pick up the puck in their own end, it's Camelo who has an assist in this game. Working it back to Bickerstaff. Bickerstaff trying to elevate or a pass out of the zone, unable to. So galloping back in is McGee, who can't get the shot off. It's reversed around. Romandelli looking back to the point, unable to. So 3 Tigers try and gain the offensive line. Instead, they're offside as it was deflected right before they gained that blue paint. Good defensive stand by Lehigh as well. 35.7 seconds remaining in the second period. And Lehigh on top 2-1 thanks to 2 power play goals. As they drop the puck in neutral ice, Suzuka can't win that one. So Lehigh is going to try to extend their lead as it's Morgley punching the puck forward, doesn't get enough mustard behind it. So it comes back out into neutral ice. Morgley with a second attempt. Wanted to feed Goldstein. 13 ticks remaining. As there's still a lot of yelling and screaming from both fan bases. But with 4 seconds remaining, this will likely do it as Towson's content just going to the locker room down 1. All 3 goals scored in this game came in the second period. About halfway through, it was McGuire with the goal to put Towson up 1-0, but instead it was then Clayton and McGee, 2 power play goals for Lehigh, and that's why Lehigh's on top 2-1.
Great period of hockey.
Great goaltending thus far. A lot more penalties. We only had 1 penalty in the first period, and it actually had some carryover time into the second.
The chippiness picked up there a little bit.
And that's what playoff hockey will do, but that will do it for our second period of play. And when we come back, Aaron and I will break down that period a lot more. So thank you for tuning in, and you will see us when the second intermission show comes on. and welcome back into our broadcast live from Iceworks Arena in Aston, Pennsylvania. At the end of 2 periods, it is Lehigh on top 2-1 over Towson with 2 power play goals. But the first goal was by Towson by Matt McGuire, an outlet pass from Camilla that just couldn't be stopped. And that was a beautiful goal, probably one of the most beautiful goals we've seen all season long, where McGuire found his spot and was able to score. But penalties are right now killing Towson. What'd you see in that second period, Aaron?
Yeah, the intensity picked up a lot there. Lehigh, somebody must have been listening to the broadcast in the Lehigh locker room because they woke up, they listened to what I had to say. They came out to play that second period and they took advantage of 2 costly penalties. And they've got the lead now, so good period for them. Hopefully they look to finish it off. If you're Towson, get back to what you were doing in the first period, and you're still in this game. It's 1-goal game.
Now you were a high school goaltender, so you can probably confidently speak from both ends of these. If you're down a goal and you're the goaltender, is your confidence shaken, or are you just hoping that it's a 1-goal game, my team will pick me up? What's that feeling like when you're down a goal and there's only 1 period left? Is there pressure to not allow any more?
Of course there's pressure. You gotta try to keep it out of your head. Goalies, they say, are head cases. They're all mental cases, and some of them are. So as long as you're concentrating on nothing but the puck and making sure you're focused and your head doesn't go anywhere else, your thoughts aren't anywhere else, then you're gonna do your thing and you're gonna play well. If you start worrying about I can't make any mistakes here, I can't do this, I can't do that, you're gonna probably make a mistake. So
then on the opposite end, if you're up a goal, so if you're in the Lehigh situation where they were down 1-0, then capitalized with 2 power play goals, how do you make sure you keep that intensity up so that you don't just let 1 soft goal back in to not up the game?
Same thing, focus. Just stay focused. It feels a little bit better because you do have the lead, and it's like, hey, I can. I don't want to give up a goal, but we're playing with the lead here. And, just keep doing what you've been doing all game. Your team's going to help you out, and you're going to keep the puck out of the net as long as you stay focused on the puck and nothing else.
So 1 period of regulation remains. Who knows, this one may need overtime as it is a 1-goal game at the end of 2. But that will do it for our intermission report, and when we come back, we'll have the start of the 3rd period. Welcome back into our broadcast for third and final regulation period between Towson and Lehigh. Just to take a quick second, we're going to look over into the Lehigh end where Carlin is having a conversation with the referees. He was trying to skate over that blue painted area. So again, going back to our goaltending expert in Aaron, it appears it's a little too wet in that area. What happens in that situation for a goaltender if it's a little too wet in your crease area?
If it's a little too wet, your pads, when you slide across, they tend to get stuck, just like we see sometimes with pucks that get stuck in too much water. But it looks like he's, messed it up enough. When a goalie comes out, they always scratch up their crease because if it's too wet and if it's too slick, then you slide all over the place and you can't stop. So they like to have it a little bit of roughed up in the crease.
Well, they deemed that it's okay. It's at least playable, as Lehigh right now is starting a charge of their own. Brooks tees up a shot, doesn't get it on net. Crashing toward the net was McGee, looking for his second of the game.
And the way the Zambonis always, resurface the ice, there's always way too much water in the crease, and goalies will hate that.
It always appears that there's an issue, especially at this ECHA level, but nonetheless, we've got it taken care of. 19:25 remaining in the third period with Lehigh on top 2-1. Snyder has to come back in his own end. He curls back, almost turns over the puck, gets it to the left wing side. Now it's picked up here by Lehigh as Warren kept the zone. Snyder getting it into neutral ice. He's able to gain the blue line, doesn't get the shot through as it goes into the far corner board. Takes a check to make the play, appears to be in a little bit of discomfort, but is going to skate back into the play and is up on all twos. Coming back in his own end is Gallagher, number 22, donning the road black jersey for number 3, Towson Tigers. The winner of this game will face the winner of tonight's game between Navy and Villanova in the championship of the ECHA. And the loser, well, their season is done, so a lot on the line as this puck ricochets out of play. 18:30 remaining in the third period.
Yeah, like you said, this is a big, very big period for both of these teams. Somebody's got to go home, and somebody's got to go play in a championship game tomorrow.
And that game will be broadcasted live here at 1 p.m. And again, it'll be the winner of this game versus the winner of Navy and Villanova. Navy is already guaranteed a spot in Nationals in Chicago for being the number 1 team in the ECHA, so congratulations to them. But they may want to add a little bit more hardware and win the ECHA championship. But still a lot more work to be done. Their game hasn't even started yet. Still a 1-goal game in this semifinal contest. 18 minutes remaining in the third period with Lehigh on top, 2-1. Camella along the near board side uses the boards, wanted to pass to Suzuka, doesn't find him, so it comes back to Camella, who's doubling back in his own end, being chased by Goldstein, tosses on over to Klingerman, his defensive partner. Klingerman looked for Suzuka, no one home, so it comes back out into neutral ice until it's tossed back down where Carlin slows down the pace of play. Lehigh emerging out of their zone, gain that red line, then they hit Camella, so the puck didn't get deep, which is what they wanted to do. So once again, they're going to toss it on toward the Towson end. 17-14 remaining in the third period. As upending his man is Butchagrassi. Puck stays in Lehigh's end, but they finally come into neutral ice. They didn't gain that red center line. So icing against Lehigh. Trying to get off quickly was Andres Bonato, number 20 for Lehigh. Wants to get a line change on. Linesman detected it, and I think you might have just caught that in your picture. A linesman falling down as he was trying to pick up the puck.
Hey, the Zamboni was just out there. The ice is pretty slippery.
Dykstra and Bonato set to take the draws for their respective clubs. Dykstra wins it back. Here's Bickerstaff lining up a shot. Doesn't get through. So it stays in the corner where Darby is. They reverse it back. Towson can't keep it in the end. So finally, Lehigh's able to get the change they wanted. Shot toward the net. Not going to count as a shot on goal, but still covering up is the netminder in Carlin. 16:36 remaining in the third period. Suzuka wins the draw back, so here's Towson outside of the zone. It's Potter skyrocketing one into the end. Here's Warren on defense, trying to find Romandelli. Romandelli gets a piece of it, brings it back out into neutral ice, was looking to hook up with McGee, unable to. Warren back in his own end, looks for Brooks. Brooks gets it into neutral ice, but then turns it over to Suzuka, who dumps it down deep himself. Might have been a high-rising elbow by Brooks, undetected. Romandelli shoots it right toward us, and a couple spectators were just walking down the lane. Fortunately for them, no one hurt.
God.
That was a close one, Aaron.
Yeah, she did not see that one coming. She almost got
She didn't even duck for cover.
Yeah, she didn't even duck for cover. She almost got clunked in the head.
You have to be alert. You know what? There's a lot of signs around saying you have to look out for these flying pucks.
It's very weird that the stands are not covered by any kind of protective screen, while behind the boards there is, on the player side there is. It's very odd to see.
Every arena has their own story as Carlin covers
sure.
this one up. 15:46 remaining in the third period. Face-off deep in Lehigh's end. The face-off will come to the right of the netminder in Carlin. As it's now Stella giving on over to McGuire. McGuire at the left dot. Nice. Works it back to the point to Snyder. Snyder gets the shot off. It's a high-rising shot that sails wide. Comes out in front. Butcher-Grossi can't put that one home. He was teeing it up, but just couldn't get enough of the puck to get a shot off. Cross-ice feed. Butcher-Grossi finds McGuire. He is the lone goal for Towson in this game. Trips up his man. Lehigh is very angry for no call. Gallagher to Snyder. Snyder works it into the near corner boards, absorbing a check. They work it back to Snyder. Snyder can't keep the end as he skates back. He was a much bigger presence in the Temple game as this one goes all the way down for icing. And they're yelling, right now the referee is yelling at number 16, Butcher-Grossi, to come back onto the ice because he was out there for icing. And he's pretending like he has no idea what they're talking about. So right now, 4 skaters, or actually a 5th skater has come on. Butcher-Grossi is staying on the bench. You don't see it in your screen right now. He appears to be in some discomfort. So they're going to substitute Klingerman in. Not sure who's going to come out. So last second, they're going to say it's going to be Kenny Wong who has to be substituted out. That's why it took an extra second. But as I was mentioning, number 10 Snyder, a much bigger presence in the Temple game. He's had a good game here, not a great game like he had against Temple. And they need him to be great to maybe get an extra tally. He is one of the higher point getters on this team, even as a defenseman, Snyder.
Well, that's a part of the Towson game we've seen. They like to take shots from the point and, create rebounds and things in front of the net. And that all starts from shots from the point.
Warren tries to kick the puck forward. Instead, Klingerman picks it up, was looking to find Wong. They can't get it through.
Specifically, their power play does that. They work an umbrella with a guy who likes to stand in front of the net. So they're all about shots from the point.
Here's Wong at the dasher board, center ice, tosses it toward Carlin, who once again is just going to conservatively cover it up. A face-off in their own end, 14:08 remaining in the third period.
And if you're an offensive-minded defenseman, you love that. You love being part of that game plan.
Face-off won by McGee. He was able to beat Dykstra, 2 of the better face-off men for their respective clubs. As the referee actually hit that puck, so then Towson was able to pick it up. I can only imagine what would have happened if they would have scored, how Lehigh would have reacted, but no need to worry about that. As the shot doesn't get on net, and that's the lethal weapon of number 16 in Christopher Romandelli. But here's McGee with a shot, doesn't get through. Brooks in the far corner trying to work it around the cage for Romandelli. Romandelli uses the boards to try and pass it on over to Brooks, doesn't get enough on it, so it comes back into the Mountain Hawks end, where Darby and Dykstra are forechecking. Dykstra picks it up, finds Pell. Pell on the high slide was luck and blocker side, couldn't get it off. or does get it off, I should say, but doesn't get it on net.
Towson very good at running the circle and trying to decide whether to pass or just to keep running. Ooh.
Slater's shot deflected out of play by Roman Deli, but adding more to that, their cycle game has been the most impressive.
Very good, yes. You know, they teach you when you run the circle, you're gonna have two options. Either the defenseman's gonna come at you and you get rid of the puck and you pass it, or he's gonna take away the pass and then you try to skate in and shoot. And they're doing a good job at making their judgments of when to pass and shoot.
You have to keep your head on a swivel if you're defending this Towson team, but it's now Lehigh forcing the issue as Potter and Goldstein meet up in the Towson end as it rims around to the far board side. Towson loves to work it high to low, low to high. They can do it all. Just haven't converted, not an offensive juggernaut like some other teams in the ECHA as the puck comes back into Towson's end. 12:34 remaining in the third period. Lehigh on top 2-1. It was two quick power play goals, and right now that's the difference.
Some two costly mistakes. Towson's game's been pretty good besides those two mistakes, and it's cost them.
McGuire, who continues to stay with the puck, loses his stick. Butcher-Grossi checks his man. As going off for a line change is McGuire. His stick stays on the ice. I think a lot of Towson players were yelling they wanted an outlet pass as Lehigh was changing. They couldn't get it off, so it's Potter to McGuire. McGuire was a stride slow. That was actually Matt Stella, my apologies, number 15, not number 25. 11:54 remaining in the third period. And it's been a relatively quick moving period as we're almost halfway through the third period. Puck won by Lehigh. Warren, the smaller defender, works it back out into neutral ice. It comes outside the blue paint, so touching up are the Mountain Hawks. Bickerstaff to his defensive partner in Klingerman. Suzuka turning on the Jets. Now it's Darby with the puck. Warren gets it away from him. As they work it behind the net, centering it out in front. They can't jam it home. 11:18 remaining in the third period. Bickerstaff is going to dump it down deep. Carlin comes out of his net once again to just slow down the puck and give Lehigh possession of it. First one to touch up here are the Mountain Hawks, and that's going to be DeGizio. Bickerstaff reverses around, but there's Roman Deli touching up with it. Comes back out into neutral ice as the topsy-turvy back-and-forth game continues. McGee gets the shot off, but it then goes out of play. It appears behind the play Gallagher ran headfirst into the boards as he's shaken up a bit. And I think a trainer is going to have to come out and look at him as he was just riding his man hard into the boards. He was staying hard on McGee, whose backhand try almost beat Stewartson. But then as he stayed on top of McGee, it was Gallagher who went headfirst into the boards. Good to see him up, skating off on his own power. 10:44 remaining in the third period. As you can hear, this place has gotten a lot more quiet because anytime a player takes a spill and is doubled over, a lot of the energy was taken out of the building. But play has resumed. Shot doesn't get through from the point. That was Roman Deli. Puck at the right point. And if they're going to say it deflected off of Towson, so the puck will be dropped deep in Towson's end. Once again, 10:29 remaining in the third period. Brooks gets the shot off. Not sure if Stewartson saw that.
Nice designed face-off there for Lehigh. Win the draw back, rip the shot right away.
So Brooks to Roman Deli. They're looking for the centering attempt to McGee. Comes back to Brooks along the right side of the goal mouth. They work it back to the point. Lehigh Finding McGee at the top of the left circle. They work it out in front. Brooks can't poke that one home as Stewartson was out of position.
Golden opportunity missed there.
So now here's Suzuka gaining the blue painted area, the offensive zone entry. And then a good keep in there by Stella. A lot of players calling for the puck. Instead, it's Lehigh pushing the puck forward. And that was Romandelli. He's going to go off for a line change. The other Romandelli, number 16, who has over 80 points, stays out there. As Carlin, once again, going to play conservatively, cover up. McGuire was chasing in hard after that one. Gives the netminder a snow shower.
You hate that. I hate that as a goalie.
9:27 remaining in the third period. As the puck is won back, McGuire wants to stay with it. Butcher Grossi tried to poke it free to Stella. Stella takes care of Warren. And then the puck is brought back into the Lehigh end as McGuire finished his man off. Comes back out into neutral ice. Morgley finds Goldstein. Goldstein loses possession of that one. Under 9 minutes to go in the third period. As Potter lost his footing. So now coming the other way, it's 2-on-2. Here's Butcher Grossi. Butcher Grossi finding Stella. Stella's shot doesn't hit the net. Dykstra is out there as well. Dykstra finds Stella. Stella's shot. And they can't put it home. Dykstra pokes away at it. What a miraculous save by Carlin.
Incredible save. He got over on the one time off the rebound.
As Bickerstaff throws this one on. Man, has Carlin been impressive tonight for Lehigh. As much as they're an offensive, as that's their strength, as they continue to shoot away at Carlin, he makes the save. It's still free as we see it out in front. Powell with the shot on, save there by Carlin. So as I was saying, for as offensive as Lehigh is, man, has Carlin come to play today. And I was a little worried since he hasn't started that many games, only started 9 games all season long, that he might not be as fresh as this. But he has come to the task as Powell thought he kept it in, then tossed it on net. He's going to claim that he didn't know he was offside. A couple players not happy with that one. Referee's letting him know you're going to get one warning. If it happens another time, we've warned you. That's one of those, I think it was a frustration, because you saw he didn't get all of it. You know when a guy really meant to shoot it as hard as he can. So I think he was maybe about to wind up.
You still don't shoot at another team's goal. I know it. I know you could say, "Oh, I didn't hear the whistle." Come on.
We have a goalie-friendly color commentator on tonight.
A little biased, but
7:36 remaining in the third period. Still a 2-1 game. All 3 goals came in that second period. As Klingerman tried to poke away at it, the alternate captain for the Tigers. Snyder gains the red line. Getting tripped up was Klingerman. Linesman on top of it is just going to say he's offside. You can't call penalties, so you're offside. You didn't get back on side in time. Offside. 7:19 to go in the third period. As it's Lehigh winning the puck back. Now Towson picks it up in neutral ice. 7:10 remaining in the third period. You might start to see in a couple shifts, if Towson can't score, they might just have to take a couple opportunities before they even pull the netminder. As here's Camelo, who has an assist in the game, works it on over to McGuire near center ice. As the puck is skied down toward Towson's end. They're going to wait for a couple guys to change. 6:43 remaining in the third period. Still a 2-1 game. As now here's Goldstein looking for a centering feed. Making the save is Stewartson. They still try and jam it home. A big shot there by Goldstein doesn't beat Stewartson, as there's bedlam in Towson's end. Shot doesn't get through again. And if you're looking for an intense ending, you might have it. McGuire finishes his man off hard. No call.
No, letting them play. One goal game in a semifinal, you let them play.
And the crowd is back in this one. 6 minutes to go in the third period. Lehigh still on top 2-1.
Referees do not want to decide this game.
High rising shot, then hits the protective awning behind the net.
It's going to have to be really obvious.
5:52 to go in this third period. Puck will be dropped in the Lehigh end. As Dykstra and Goldstein face off. Dykstra wins it back. Bickerstaff can't get the shot on net. As the puck is going to stay right on that blue painted area. They say it's onside. Linesman on top of it. 5:35 remaining in a 1-goal game. And we're going to continue to give you time checks even though you have the time on your screen. We want to make sure you know exactly how much time is left as it's a 1-goal game. Gaining the line is Gallagher. Gets the shot off. Gets tripped up. No call. And then the puck hits the protective awning near the Lehigh bench with 5:13 remaining in the third period.
Towson's pressing and pressing. Lehigh's defense has been up to the task so far this period. Not giving them anything to work with. Minus a few saves from Carlin.
Puck won by Towson. They toss it toward Carlin. Puck came out into the high slot, trying to pounce on top of it.
Lehigh
were the Tigers.
Lehigh playing conservatively here, because they don't want to give up anything. Content with this 2-1 lead.
As it was a slow developing play in the offensive end. Goldstein punches the puck forward. He has Morgley to his right. He tosses it out in front. No one home. Only the Tigers are home. Smart. And Stewartson's going to cover that one up with under 5 minutes remaining in the contest.
Smart cover up from Stewartson, as there were two Lehigh players looking to pounce on that loose puck.
McGee and McGuire taking the draws for their respective clubs. McGuire wins the draw. It's the all-important defensive zone draw win for Towson. They now need to try and get it out of their zone. They were able to momentarily, thrown back in as the Mountain Hawks touch up. Staying with it is McGee. He's along the half wall. He gets his pocket picked by Potter. Potter goes cross ice. Finds Powell. It's actually Snyder. Snyder with a nice move. Looking for a man out in front. How does Carlin get his pads over? They continue to poke at it. No whistle.
The net's off.
The net is off. They jam away at it. No referee trying to put the net back on. Instead, it's Carlin who puts it back on. With under 4 minutes remaining.
There was your moment. He made a nice move, a nice pass. And Carlin somehow slides over and gets it with the leg and keeps it out, as they were pandemonium in there.
And I think there's a lot more excitement to come. 3:40 remaining as Stewartson came out of his net. Chasing after it was McGee.
Hey, for some of these players, this could be their final 3 minutes of hockey.
That puck appeared to have come outside the blue painted area. Again, linesman on top of it says it's onside, so Lehigh doesn't have to touch up. Under 3:30 remaining here in the third period. This is probably the time where you start to see that extra defender pinching down deep.
Leave it all on the line right now.
As punching that puck forward is Darby. Chasing after it is Powell. It stays in the end. Good keep there by Potter. It's now the Mountain Hawks reversing around. Goldstein skies it back out into the Tigers' end. Wholesale change for Lehigh. They get a different 5-man unit. You see an outlet pass here by the Tigers. They're able to gain that line. Shot misses the net, goes way wide, goes into the far corner boards, and then has a spin cycle like it's a dryer as the puck comes into center ice.
Uh-oh, they're going to get him.
And that's quite the time to call a penalty on Darby. You want to make sure if you're Towson, you don't get some extra minutes. Even Bickerstaff goes over to the linesman. who wasn't responsible for the call and said, look, there's 2:47 remaining. This isn't the time to call some ticky-tack calls, but I think they're going to get him for tripping.
Yep.
We get timeout against Lehigh as they're going to try and diagram their power play up. But now a really tough task for these Towson Tigers.
And I said it was going to have to be obvious, and it was borderline obvious. I mean, it was a trip, and I can understand why at this time of the game you're going to be upset for a call that's close, but if you're a Towson fan, you're going to be upset. If you're a Lehigh fan, you're going to say that's a good call.
So 2:47 remaining, a 2-minute penalty looms as Darby is sitting in the box. I believe the call was tripping. So interesting situation will likely come. If Lehigh can't score on this power play, Towson will try as fast as they can to likely get their netminder in Stewartson.
Now, something we saw in the Devils Islanders game last night is that even with a penalty, the Devils took a penalty, I believe, at the end of the game, they still pulled the goalie and went 5-on-5 and tried to do it that way. Now, that probably wouldn't work in a league like this, but
you know what? It's playoff hockey, single elimination.
Right.
You have to try
you
anything.
Try anything.
This is the time to be as creative as possible. You're down a goal. And you can see right now Towson's not overcommitting. They don't want to overcommit just yet. They know how much time is left.
But I'm sure the coaches said, if you see a turnover and you see an opportunity, take it. Take it at all costs.
As right now it appears Lehigh is content just passing it around, probably trying to find an open seam right now.
Yep.
As it's worked to the far board side.
They can take their time.
So Lehigh now absorbing a big check there. As the puck comes out in front, they can't get the shot off, and then they finally score. I think it got behind Stewartson. The goalie, the ref on top of it says no goal. I could have sworn it beat Stewartson. As I saw the water bottle pop, I saw the net change a little bit, as it had almost seemed as if the only movement that could have happened is a puck going into the net. Referee on top of it says no goal. Still a 1-goal game, a minute 21 remaining to the man advantage. And I think the only cameras in the building are ours, so they would have to check with us. Face-off one here by Lehigh. Now it's Towson short-handed. Staying in his net is Stewartson. Still 2 minutes remaining. But you can see 3 different Tigers in the offensive end, even though they are short-handed. And this is where you might see an odd man break.
Yep,
there's a 2-on-1 break that we thought would happen. As they're trying to diagram it, they get it back to the point. Now it's at that left face-off dot. They're waiting an extra second. Not sure why they didn't get a shot off. As the puck is now to the side of the net, they try and jam away at it. Stewartson makes the save. It's a 2-on-2 break the other way. A minute 25 remaining, 35 seconds to go on the man advantage. Carlin comes up with that one. Chasing after it is Snyder.
So many little things going on. You see Bickerstaff skated near the Lehigh bench, and somebody grabbed him a little bit. He was looking for a call, no call for a bench minor, and back and forth, a 4-on-1 there for a second.
And I can't believe Lehigh messed that one up. They had it was a 2-on-1 that turned into 2 trailing defensemen that joined, and then they messed it up.
Somehow kept the puck out.
So 80 seconds even to go.
Towson's hanging in there. There's no reason they can't tie this up.
And do keep in mind, it was Lehigh who utilized their timeout. Towson has yet to. I was thinking they were going to maybe diagram something there. They opted not to. I think 70 seconds to go.
I think they're going to try to kill the penalty first and maybe set something up after.
So to that power play, 15 seconds to go on this Lehigh power play with Darby in the box. They have it along the half wall. Now back to the point. They rim it around. 53 seconds remaining in the contest. 5 seconds to go on the man advantage. We're back to even strength. 45 seconds remaining. Stewartson still in his cage.
They're going to have to get possession before they can pull him, but that is an icing.
And now icing against Lehigh.
And now you can pull him. That's a big Big play.
41.7 seconds left. That's plenty of time.
Let's see.
I think Towson's going to call the timeout. They sure do. And if you wanted an exciting semifinal game, you got it. So thank you for tuning in to this ECHA semifinal broadcast between the number 3 Towson Tigers and the number 2 Lehigh Mountain Hawks. Thus far, all the scoring has come in that second period. And both goaltenders have had to stand on their heads. Carlin, especially for Lehigh, has been very impressive. .7 seconds remaining. Puck will be dropped deep in the Lehigh end. It'll be a 6-on-5 advantage for Towson as Stewartson will not be in his net. And no surprise to see, it's the top guns for both teams. Taking the draw is Suzuka for Towson. He has Dykstra, McGuire now at the point, and Snyder. Bickerstaff gets a shot off, blocker save there by Carlin. 33 seconds remain in regulation. It's still a 1-goal game as Towson tries to tie it up, force overtime. Bickerstaff gets a shot off, and it comes down. They score! McGuire ties it up, and we have a tie game at 2 apiece. McGuire with his third of the weekend. 25.3 seconds remaining, and this one is destined for overtime.
Well, goalie pull works. I can't believe that. They take a bad penalty there with less than 3 minutes left. They pull off the game-tying goal. McGuire continues it to be hot in this playoff. They crashed the net. There was a rebound, put it home.
So, if you think that goal was exciting, just wait for the next one. Under 20 seconds remain in regulation, and this one goes down for icing. 16.1 seconds remaining, and Lehigh is beside themselves. They have no idea what has gotten into them. And this crowd is electric, and I'm not lying. This crowd is electric.
Yeah, you can hear the Towson fans start to make some noise, as it looks like we'll be getting some free hockey here.
Well, Towson might have something to say about that, but it's actually Lehigh who's going to press the issue.
Hopefully I didn't speak too soon.
Shot on save there. Every save is so big now. 7.5 remaining. And this is seriously an interesting situation now because with the offensive zone draw for Lehigh, if they can diagram something, they can end this one in regulation. It appears the only way Towson will win is in overtime, so they win the draw to add the excitement. Shot on save there. Just to add some excitement, we have one more face-off remaining in regulation. 3.4 seconds remaining as they finally announce the goal now, so a lot of people are exciting. They're hitting the walls here in the arena. Shot doesn't get through, and we have some free hockey here in Aston, Pennsylvania. Iceworks is the arena. 60 minutes wasn't enough between Towson and Lehigh. And could you ask for a better game today between Towson and Lehigh? That next goal will get a team into the championship game, and the losing team, their season is over. A lot of pressure on both teams.
Probably changes to 20.
And this overtime, since it's playoff overtime, it won't just be 5 minutes. We're going to have a 20-minute overtime. It's playoff hockey. Who knows? Maybe this will be a 3 overtime game. It's been a low-scoring affair, 2-2. They have now lessened it to 10 minutes. They have now lessened the time to 10 minutes, so it might not be a 20-minute overtime as we're getting the explanation here. The two teams are switching sides, so it'll be the period of the long change. 3 of the 4 goals in this game came in the period, during the period of the long change. So once again, that next goal gets one team into the championship game, and the team that allows that goal, their season is done. So right now we have up on the scoreboard 10 minutes. It will be 5-on-5. So it's just like playoffs in the NHL, AHL. You see a lot of people coming into your picture. They're excited. They want to celebrate with their teams, but one goal is all that is left between this game and a final score. As here's a 2-on-1 break early. Brooks tries to put it home, and they get it! It took 18 seconds, and Lehigh wins it. McGee in overtime, and Lehigh is going to the championship. Just when you thought Towson was coming back, 18 seconds in, and McGee gets the overtime winner, his second of the game. Lehigh wins it 3-2.
We didn't even have time to take a breath there.
And look, Stewartson is already at center ice. He just wants the handshakes to start and get out of here. What a turn of events as Towson tied it up inside the final 30 seconds. And then it took, the scoreboard officially says 19 seconds in overtime for Lehigh to win it, as Lehigh has punched their ticket into the championship game.
Unbelievable.
And we're not even done here today. There's still a whole nother game remaining to see who Lehigh gets to play in that championship game.
Stay tuned.
But what an exciting game. So no surprise, it was that top line, Brooks connecting with McGee as they finally announced the goal. A great season for Lehigh as they beat Temple 4-1 yesterday to advance to the semifinals. They forced overtime late, made it very exciting, but a 2-on-1 break, beautifully diagrammed as backdoor, McGee was able to get the goal, and Lehigh is playing tomorrow at 1 p.m. What are your takeaways from this game, Aaron?
Heck of a game. You know, you can see the seniors from Towson, not in your picture, but they're all hugging each other, waiting to get off the ice. Probably the last time they will play competitive hockey, and that's one of the worst feelings in the world, knowing that you may be done with something you enjoy playing. But going to Lehigh, who will be moving on to the finals tomorrow, played a great game. Goaltending, I think, pretty much was what kept them in. Carlin made some saves at some critical points and kept Towson off the scoreboard. Yes, they did score late, but you know, it looked like the excitement maybe took a little bit out of them, Towson, at the end there, and they weren't really mentally ready to start that overtime. They had no idea what was coming. And, you know, 19 seconds, Lehigh takes advantage of an odd man rush, but a great game. Good back and forth action.
It was a great game, and unfortunately for Towson, their season is over, and unfortunately as well, that will do it for our broadcast. But make sure that you tune in to the next game. You will see it on your screen. You can pay for it. It'll be Navy versus Villanova. That's a number 1 seed versus a number 5 seed. And we will see you when puck drops in about 45 minutes.